Good morning, guys. We are Tottenham TV here after a yet another disappointing draw to Fulham. In a yet another game, we've taken the lead, we've hung on to the lead, and ultimately succumbed to the pressure we've put on ourselves. I'm here joining us today with John Cooper.
How are we doing, everyone?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
How are you
the
doing?
morning after depression.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of therapy after last night.
Yeah.
Need extra therapy.
Let's break this down then, shall we?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. We're going to be We're going to be looking through the papers, looking what the papers have to say. Obviously, reacting to anything on social media as well. Tag us as well. Make sure you tag us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. If you want us to react to anything, we'll show it live on the screen as well with your name. So make sure you tag us on social media and we'll react to it live on the show. But we have some papers to go through.
Should we start with this one? So we got the, what's this? We got the Times.
Oh, the Times first.
Let's go with the Times first.
What do they say?
Order. Here we go. So I'll hold that up. So Cavallero pounces as Spurs let it slip again.
Well then, what?
And also, I mean,
who wrote that? Henry Winter.
Sorry,
Henry Winter wrote that.
Yes.
Yes, I
Henry.
thought so. He covers Spurs a lot.
You like old Henry, do you?
No, he put out a tweet yesterday saying if Jose let the handbrake off, Spurs would be a lot higher up in the table.
I think so, yeah.
Do you think do you agree with that?
I've actually said that before as a metaphor. I really agree with that. I just don't understand why we have to play so negatively and retreat as soon as we get the goal up, you know? We're playing at home, we've got the superior players, we've got the superior team. It's almost like the old, going back to the Jerry Francis days or something, where we're sort of like, trying to hold on to something. There's no need to. I don't believe in playing. It looks as though we're playing not to lose rather than like playing on the front foot, and that really disappoints me.
But the thing is, we started playing on the front foot. That's what we always do, though. I don't understand why we offer so much encouragement to this in the second half to the team when we're in the ascendancy, and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why we're so creative, and we actually create a lot of chances, usually in the first half.
But I always notice that we always give hand over the control of the game in the first 10-15 minutes, though. Have you noticed that? Then we get into the game.
Sometimes we have a fast start.
Yeah, maybe generally, but I actually think that if you look at some of these games, like yesterday, we didn't actually play well in the first half for the first 10-15 minutes. They looked the better team. Yeah. And then it takes us a while to sort of get into the game, get control of the ball, and then we start to create some chances. So we're kind of slow off, out the blocks often, and then this thing where we go into retreat mode when we need to be showing more guile, more adventure. Even I actually quite liked Højbjerg's. Did you see his post-match interview? I really liked that. That gave me some encouragement when I heard that. Because he was saying defence isn't just about standing everyone in the box. It's about maintaining a shape, being compact, and getting close to each other. There were too many gaps between the players, and that's exactly what I noticed. And I want to hear that. I don't want to hear, we should have just got a second goal. That's just too easy to say that, We got Mourinho. We're a better team. We should still be able to win these games 1-0 comfortably and shut up shop. But
I agree with you.
Where's this shutting up shop that Mourinho brings?
Yeah, but the problem with that complaint is it's not like we concede a lot of chances. We don't. How many saves did Lloris make yesterday?
True.
Did he make a lot of saves? But that's a consistent theme, though. It's a consistent theme throughout the whole season.
We'd lost control of the ball, though. That's what frustrated me. You could see it coming. That's the thing. You can see it when the goal's coming. Even you guys said, I feel like there's a goal coming.
The thing is, but we can see it coming, not because we look like conceding. We can see it coming because that's how every game has been this season.
And why is that? So we need to talk about why that is.
I'm looking at it from Mourinho's perspective, right? And I'm sure he's so frustrated because, at the end of the day, yesterday was another game where we created lots of chances. Areola had an absolutely marvellous game.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Right?
Man of the match, probably.
How many chances did Son miss? Son missed about 4 absolute sitters yesterday. But it's not Mourinho's fault he's missed all those. How many chances did Fulham actually create? Not many. I can't think of too many chances they actually created. Yeah, they've ended up getting a goal out of nothing near the end. And they've ended up nicking a draw. And I can understand from Mourinho thinking about the game overall. We should have had that game out of sight. It's not his fault that we had all these chances and missed them.
Well, I don't really put it down to just chances. I look at the control of the game as well, and I don't see why we should be handing over the midfield to Fulham, at home. That's what disappoints me. And how many points have we given away from leading positions this season?
Too many.
I think probably about. Can someone say in the comment section? It's probably about 10. Is it 10?
It's 10 points.
Yeah. I mean, surely you've got to look for patterns. A good manager looks for patterns. They see what's going wrong. They see the same thing happening over and over again, and you've got to change it. The manager's got to take responsibility for that, don't you think, Sim?
We have one second. I will answer in a second, but we have a super chat here from Romario Galvin. Galvan says this goes beyond Mourinho. Tactics of coaching staff. Tottenham have a serious mentality issue, and we won't win a Premier League until we get rid of a few of those bottle job players. Who do you think he's referring to?
Who's the bottle job?
Who do you think he's referring to?
I don't know. Ask him if that's in the comments section.
Come on, Romario. Who are the bottle jobs do you think are referring? But the thing is, it's not like we didn't create enough to win yesterday and to be out of sight. So surely that's a credit to Jose. When people criticised yesterday, people have criticised Jose for his team selection and starting the lineup. And
you did.
I did at the beginning. Sissoko on the right hand side, playing Winks and Højbjerg together, not bringing on Dele, which I understand. But in terms of the actual starting lineup, would you not say, if we put away those chances that we created, no one's talking about that.
Player for player, it's a team that should win that game, definitely. If the chances go in, it's one of those that if the chances go in, everyone would say it was like a masterclass. But why are we always playing on the back foot at home? That's what I don't understand. Even when you defend and you're like trying to be compact and really contain things, you can actually do that on the front foot. You don't have to do it on the back foot all the time. I'm just seeing a little bit of lack of confidence, a little bit of a lack of guile, lack of industry, adventure on the ball, and we can still blend that with the good defensive play, but I'm just not seeing that at the moment, and that's what's sort of worrying me, concerning me a little bit.
All right, what's the next paper saying? What you got next?
So we have got here. This is the Daily Express. So I'll hold this one up.
Oh, it's not on the screen.
We haven't got it on the screen, Frank, but I'm going to hold it up anyway.
You can see it there.
Yeah. There we go.
Parker's Heroes Fix It.
Parker's Heroes.
See, look, that's the thing. Parker's Heroes Fix It, right? As soon as this whole big issue was made before kickoff about Fulham having excellent, all this kind of stuff, I knew it was ripe for them to get a result. I knew it because so often in these situations where a team is complaining about,
they always get the win.
They always get the result. They always get the result every time. It's a mind game. It's a mind game every time. How many? Remember when Spurs, right, in the beginning of the season, we were complaining about having 4 games in a week. That last game was at Old Trafford. We won 6-1.
I know. You actually find the team that has the least amount of time to prepare actually does better for some reason. Paradoxically, that's their adrenaline must be up or something. I don't know what it is, but that just tends to work out that way.
Yeah, they'll completely
paradox.
Nothing apparently. Romario has wrote back to us about the bottle jobs. He says Harry Winks, Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, Moussa Sissoko, Dele Alli, Serge Aurier are all important squad players, and those are the players I'm referring to.
Which one? Say again. Sorry.
Harry Winks, Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, Moussa Sissoko, Dele Alli, Serge Aurier. They all bottle jobs. They all need to leave.
I also said this before.
We've got to give Aurier. I think Aurier's had a good season.
We've got too many clumsy players. I've said this before. Okay, Dyer, clumsy. He'll cost you 6 points a season. Aurier will cost you points a season. It will cost you penalties. Sanchez is clumsy. Who else have we got on there? Winks. I don't think Winks is clumsy, but who else? Who else did he say at that list?
Dele, Aurier's obviously clumsy.
Yeah, clumsy.
Davinson Sanchez.
Sanchez clumsy. Yeah.
Moussa Sissoko. He's a
clumsy.
Definition of
clumsy. So we've got too many clumsy players in there.
You're right.
That's the problem. We don't have any. We don't have enough technical players in there. So we need to start.
I feel like with these players he's mentioned, I feel like they're all good. They're all good players individually. They're all clumsy individually. I agree with you. I think pretty much all the players he's saying they're clumsy.
Dopey,
right?
They're dopey.
However, if there's only 1 or 2 of them in a lineup, it's fine. But then when they're all together,
when half the team's clumsy,
then you're just asking for a mistake to happen.
Yeah, and Dyer, like you said, like he didn't track the ball, in the box for the goal.
Watching.
Yeah, and that happened actually, if you look at the Newcastle penalty that we gave away, he didn't track the flight of the ball on that either. I know it was a little bit harsh, the penalty, do you remember?
Yeah, against Newcastle,
but, a really top defender would track the flight of the ball there. So, that's 4 points you could say Dyer's cost us if you want to scapegoat.
And then you think about also Liverpool when he just went down so easily at the last minute in that corner, no reason at all. He's a few, Dyer is one of Jose's undroppables, clearly. He starts every game.
Frustrates me.
Yeah, does he deserve that kind of status?
I don't personally, I don't like Dyer. I mean, I've always said that. I just think he looks great for 80 minutes, and then he's got a couple of clangers in him. He'll just like a silly back pass to Lloris, or he'll just like miskick a ball, or just won't track the flight of the ball, bring a player down in the area. Like, remember Pogba, he brought down stupid against Man United end of last season. He's just got that in him. He's just not technical enough. He's not cerebral enough. He's not like Toby. He doesn't have that brain, doesn't have that high IQ, and it will cost us points every season. But for like most of the game, you'll watch him, you'll go, he's really tough, and he's really good, strong, good in the air. So he's a good industrial style defender, but then he just doesn't have that kind of extra bit of intelligence that you need to keep things tight, and it's going to cost you at the end of the season in points, and it already has. If you total up all his mistakes,
yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. I feel like Dyer started the season as like he was going to be our main centre back. He was Jose's boy. I think Jose brought him in as centre back in the last season, and now he's like kind of made a decision. You're going to be my guy. I'm going to stick with you, and he has. Unfortunately, though, he has cost us a few points now.
He has, yeah. If you look at all the errors he's made, it's like probably cost about 6 points already.
And what he seems to prefer him to Alderweireld, which is a
I just don't get it.
Toby's had a great season.
Toby's like a swan.
He's had a great season as
brilliant.
well.
Toby's brilliant. Like he might not be that fast anymore, that quick, but he's still, his positioning's great. He actually commands the defence. He's always telling people where to go. He understands. He reads the flight of the ball well. He's just a better defender all round, and I don't understand it. I just don't know why Jose prefers him, but it is what it is. Can't do anything.
Yeah, Fulham were probably well worth the draw anyway yesterday in terms of how they
could have won it, mate.
They could have won it at the end once we have threw some risk at the game.
Yeah,
near the end.
What do you think needs to change for us to stop being so slack and not letting these 1-0 leads slip? What's going wrong, and what needs to change?
We need more aerial presence at the back. I feel like maybe someone like Joe Rodon might really help, because we got a big lad on the bench, 6'4". I know he's young and he's come from the Championship and whatnot, but he's already shown in the couple of games he's played. He's a confident lad.
Yeah, he's
a big, strong lad. He's the biggest centre back we have. Clearly, he's very adept aerially. He's also seems fairly comfortable on the ball as well. So I think he should be kind of eased into the lineup. I think he should be ahead of Sanchez.
Yeah, why do you think he's not? Why do you think he's not getting that game time? Because what's he not showing?
I don't know. I'm not there on the training ground, but I feel like probably, obviously, the 3 centre backs ahead of him are more senior centre backs, and maybe Jose trusts them more.
Yeah,
but maybe he's just got to kind of. It's one of those situations where he has to lose trust in one of his centre backs for him to get his chance, and then when he gets his chance, he's to grab it.
Yeah,
kind of thing. And he had a decent debut against Chelsea, kept a clean sheet. There's only other games been against Marines. It's hard to judge him on that. Hasn't been involved in the Europa League squad. But I really feel like he's got the qualities that we're lacking at centre-back. Someone with real aerial dominance, which we don't have. How many goals we conceded from headers this season?
Yeah, a lot.
Wolves.
Crystal Palace,
Palace, which pretty much was a header. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Everton.
Yeah.
West Ham. Yesterday. Fulham. How many?
Set pieces.
That's 6.
Yeah.
That's 6 already. That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And those all of them pretty much cost us. Every single one of those cost us points. So we need to be sorting out what's going on in the air in our back line, because from open play, we've conceded 4 goals this season from open play. We're near impenetrable. From open play. We very, very rarely concede. What's screwing us is set pieces and headers like yesterday, where people put in crosses. That's the only thing that's we're conceding from. These things need to be ironed out. But what the frustrating thing is to see it on the pitch. For me, I think we're doing well. I think I know people are frustrated. We sit back, we give the opposition a bit too much encouragement. But I feel like how games play out and how we're doing in games and the bigger picture, I think we should be, the performances and how games have gone, we should be higher in the table. We should have more points than we do. The fact that we don't is because of stupid headers when we shouldn't be conceding goals like that, and then obviously not killing off games. And couple those two things are leading us right now to dropping a lot of points. But we have a lot of control in games. I really feel that. I feel like we're controlling games well. There's just little details.
I don't think we do control games. I can see that when we start to look a bit nervous, when it hits about the 60-minute mark, I can see we're trying to play not to lose, not playing to win. And whenever you play not to lose, I've known this for years. Whenever you've watched Spurs, whenever we tried played not to lose, we lose, or we drop, we concede, and I just think you can't keep doing that, it just won't work. You might get away with it every now and then, but if you do that for the whole season, then it's going to cost you, and it's cost us every single time, so
didn't cost us against Burnley, didn't cost us against West Brom, we have held out for wins, but I'm not, but
we've given up, I think, the most I think we're the third in the table of the most points, from winning positions. Correct. So there's obviously an issue there.
Yes, but that's because of these stupid headers that keep going in. That's not Is that Jose's fault?
It's not just that, though. Even when the Palace game, and when you were doing the watch along, you were saying, we can see it coming. The goal's coming. Do you remember? Yeah. We were all saying that. So you couldn't tell there was going to be a header, but we could see the goal was coming, and that's my issue.
But it was from a set piece. I could tell it was going to be from a set piece.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we were all saying there's a goal coming here. And so that's the issue where I'm saying we're not controlling the game well enough. We're not seeing these games out well enough. And I don't know what that is. Is it a lack of leadership? Does someone need to really sort of, communicate to the rest of the lads, come on, keep the shape, don't sit back too much. I don't know what that needs. It needs something in there. But I feel like there's a lack of leadership when it comes to trying to see out these games.
Yes. Yeah, potentially. All right, let's go.
Should we go to the next one?
What's the next one saying?
So what's this? The Independent, is it? Sport.
Mm-hmm.
Cavallero dents Spurs' ambitions as Reguilon is denied late winner.
Reguilon was offside.
This. Yeah. I mean, if that goal goes in, then everything we wouldn't. We'd be really happy today, wouldn't we?
Obviously,
look, it's one of those. It's just one of those.
If we scored any of those chances that we created before we conceded equaliser, no one's talking about anything. I think we're talking about a good performance, a good win, and a deserved win.
It's funny. It's one of those where if that goal goes in, then all the player ratings sort of get averaged up to a 7. But because it doesn't go in, they all get averaged down to a 6. Do you know what I mean? I know, that's just the psychology of it, isn't it?
What Romario's tweet put in the comment section again, he says, I know this is irrelevant, but when our main free kick specialist is Eric Dyer, we should be nowhere near a title challenge.
Can I suggest something? Is there any reason why Son can't have a go?
Son never ever goes
Can
for
I just put
kick.
that out there now? Like, can Son please just have one go, because he's got great technique,
People
Son.
shit on Dyer though, but I think he's actually not bad at free kicks.
No, I actually suggested
I
it to you. Do you remember back in the day I said I think he needs to take our free kicks.
Yeah, I agree. He's much better than Kane.
Yeah, he's much better. He's got a better percentage free kick. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Kane will just end up blasting it over the bar or something.
Or in the wall. Every time. In the wall or over the bar.
So I do prefer him to Kane, but just let Son have a go. Like, he's got a good whip. He's got a good whippy shot. Son.
Yeah, I know. So Son should have a go.
Let Son have a go. I think because we don't really have a proper dead ball specialist. Like there were times when we've always had, or before that we had Bale. Son is like, people say he's a world class player. I can see that. World class player potentially. So why can't he add the free kicks to his game, the dead balls to his game? Why can't he even attempt it? I just don't understand that. So that would be my thing. Let Son have a go at the free kicks.
Yeah, I don't know why he's never really been over it. Should we look at these? Should we look at some tweets then? Let's see what people have been tagging us in. You've been tagging us in some of your opinions. We got Lily White Lane. He says, woeful second half, not clinical enough on goal, and shambolic defensively. Jose got the lineup completely wrong. With Sanchez and Dyer at the back and Sissoko pressing as a right winger. It's the same old story, like an awful movie you have to watch every week. People say he got it wrong and he gets it. This is the same old story, but in other games we've conceded, we've had Dyer and Toby, we've had Bergwijn or Lucas on the right wing. It's not necessarily a team selection problem. I feel because I feel like whoever we play, the same thing's happening.
The same thing will happen no matter who you put out. It's just the way they're being trained to play, coached to play. That's what I have issue with, So.
But then Mourinho would say, if you put away the chances you create,
I know you'd say that. Yeah, but why can't we shut up shop? I don't understand that. I still think you should. If you're 1-0 up, yes, of course, it's great to go and get the second goal, the third goal, but you should still be able to, at home, hold out against a team that's 12 places below you.
Agreed.
And I think that's an issue that we really need to address.
Agreed, but in terms of the team shape, the fact that we don't concede that many chances is an our credit to Mourinho, and it's just kind of individual errors that are costing us? Or do you feel like...
I just think that we lose control of the ball. We lose control of the game. Even you guys were shouting it on the watch along yesterday. Like, get your foot, get on the ball, get your foot on the ball.
Yeah,
let's
first
control
half
the game.
We had a lot more possession, didn't we? In the second half.
So I think that needs to be. You need to start. getting the grip of the game again, you know, and seeing out the game rather than just being on the back foot and just like trying to sort of,
can you have control of a game for 90 minutes? It's very difficult. A lot of teams, most teams in the league, you have a period where you're under pressure and you have to defend. Right, you can't have complete control.
No, you're not complete
minutes.
control.
Even I was watching Man City versus Brighton. For the last 25 minutes, Brighton all over them. They could have got a goal.
But you think about the peak Poch days, that when we were like at home and we were like a goal up. I felt pretty confident. I felt comfortable. Now when we're a goal up under Mourinho, I don't feel comfortable. I feel as though the chances are they are more likely to score than we are, which is
yeah, but having said that, in even that second half, as you referred to, who had the best chance for the second half before we
the Sun chance hit the post.
We had the best chance for the second half. It wasn't Fulham, so it wasn't exactly like. It's just frustrating because from Ria's perspective, we don't. It's not like we look like conceding. We just feel like conceding. We don't look like conceding. You know what I mean? Yeah, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like everyone can see where it's like 1-1 bingo. When's that goal going to come? Because we've seen this story so many times. Yeah. But in terms of on the pitch, what I'm looking at, in terms of maybe we're under pressure from possession point of view, and maybe we're inviting a bit too much pressure. But are we conceding chances? Is Lloris being tested? Are they having shots on goal? The answer was no. They did get a goal out of nothing. That's the truth. And so so what is Jose supposed to do about that?
I mean, I don't see, when I see how dangerous the team is, I don't look at it just on shots on target, if you know what I mean. I also look at it as like how many times they get in behind, how many times they have shots that kind of ricochet around in the box and just happen to luckily go to our player.
Yeah, I see that as like... Did they have that yesterday?
Well, it's... Possibly, yeah. I think they did. A couple of crosses came in, and a few dodgy moments. Yeah, there are a few dodgy moments. I think that's how I judge it. Not just on shots on target. If a player goes through 1-on-1 on goal and blazes it over the bar, and you could say, you could say, hey, Lloris didn't get tested, but of course it was a big chance. No, I'm taking it to the extreme. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but there was nothing like that yesterday.
No, but I'm saying that they sometimes I consider big chances even when the goalkeeper doesn't get tested, or you could say even though to the.
But my point is they weren't creating chances, though. That's my point. They didn't create really much.
I think there were a few. I'd have to watch it back, but
they didn't. Before they scored, they pretty much didn't create many chances. That chance, despite it didn't come out of nowhere in a sense that they were putting us under pressure and looking for a goal, but it came out of nowhere in the sense that when they were putting us under pressure, we dealt with it.
Yeah, the Loftus Cheek, kind of like the sort of sideways bicycle kick. Do you know what I mean? That kind of just went past the post. Things like that.
That's a half chance. That's a half chance.
Yeah, but if that hits the target, it's in. You know what I mean?
No, that's a very difficult chance. That's a very difficult chance, and it goes wide. And that's a half chance. That's like nothing compared to what we created throughout the game. That's nothing compared to what we created. So I can understand Mourinho's frustration about how we're not picking up these wins when it's such fine margins, and I feel like it's not going our way at the moment. But then again, it's all of our own making because we invite too much pressure.
That's the issue that I have. We're just inviting it on. There's just no reason for it, But anyway,
all right,
let's go to the next one. So what have we got here? Telegraph. I'll hold this one up. Where we go?
There you go. Bit to the
Yeah, there we go.
Cavallero rises to the occasion to punish wasteful Tottenham. That's my point. Wasteful Tottenham. We were wasteful. That was our biggest issue yesterday. The fact that we the fact that we missed so many chances was the biggest issue. But would you not be more concerned if we were like conceding loads of chances? You know what I mean? The fact that we're not, is that not something that you can build on? No?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the stats on like how many chances we're conceding. But when I'm watching it, I don't look at it just like that. I look at it as you would say. How does it feel? Like what do you think's going on? More of a broad take on it all, And when I'm watching, I can see we're retreating as a unit, as a team, and it doesn't look good. We're inviting it on. So statistically, maybe not shots on target or testing Lloris so much, but I still feel as though like you can feel when the danger's coming, And I feel like why are we allowing this team to to put us under the cosh so much? That's how I look at it, if you know what I mean. Not just on these kind of isolated shots. Do Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
You can
what
see
you're
it
saying.
coming. You can feel it coming. You're like, this is slipping. Why are we letting this slip? That's how I judge it. More of a broad brushstroke of it.
Actually, I don't disagree with that. But yeah, we should have been out of sight before they scored. That's the truth.
What, the sun chance?
So many chances. It wasn't just Son, but yeah. Let's look at some more tweets. We've got Bobby Singh here. He's tweeted us. One of the main things Poch did when he came in was change the whole club's mentality and got rid of the deadwood. Jose's biggest challenge is to get rid of our club's fragile underbelly. Yeah. Do you agree with that?
I think so, yeah.
Do you agree that
that goes back to, was it what was his name, Romario's comment?
Yeah, the bottle jobs.
And we talked about the bottle jobs, the clumsy players. I think there's they are the weak links, aren't they? That's the soft underbelly in our team. Do you want me to read out some of the ratings that they?
Yeah, go on. What are they giving?
So this is the Daily Telegraph. Lloris 6, Aurier 6, Sanchez 5, Dyer 5, Reguilon 7, Winks 6, Højbjerg 7, Sissoko 6, Ndombele 7, Son 6, Kane 6. I'm glad they've got Ndombele.
Yeah,
I actually thought Ndombele and Reguilon had a good game. I actually thought Sissoko, maybe a 6.5, I would say, for Sissoko.
I don't think he was bad.
I thought he was all right.
Yeah, I thought he was all right. People were complaining about him.
When he came inside, he looked all right, I thought. And he was actually taking on his man, which I really liked. I thought he did okay, actually.
But would we have been better served with a more offensive player in that position, you might argue?
Yes, possibly.
And I think he did a good job, and I think he did a good job helping out Aurier as well. But I felt like early doors he looked a bit lost. He grew into the game really well. But second half, apart from that jinking Ricky Villa run he did near the beginning of the half, I didn't see much.
What did you think of Sanchez?
I don't think he did anything wrong except for the goal. Like Dyer, I don't think he did anything wrong except for the goal.
I actually think 5's a little bit harsh.
Yeah,
I actually don't think he did that much wrong.
He did get sold a bit from Lookman for that goal.
Yeah,
which was really unnecessary. If you look
Whose
at it
fault
back,
do you think that was then?
Well, I think it's a catalogue of errors
between Dyer and Sanchez.
First of all, and Aurier. I think Aurier doesn't get out to the left back quick enough. He plays it down the line to Lookman. Lookman sells Sanchez down the line completely unnecessarily. Sanchez had him. He had yards on him, and he gave up his advantage. He let Lookman get the cross in. Lookman gets the cross in, and Dyer has one man to mark in the box. He doesn't mark him. It's a catalogue of errors. Catalogue of errors.
So Sanchez before that, you think?
Yeah, he was fine
before that.
I actually think as well, after we scored and we were going forward to push, right? Fulham had a lot of counter-attacks, and if it wasn't for Sanchez, we definitely would have lost that game.
Yeah, I liked what you said yesterday. You said, I'm not noticing him, so it must be good.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's a good performance when you're not sort of like your heart's in your mouth every time he's on the ball. It just feels comfortable, and I sort of that's how I feel about Sanchez yesterday. But
yeah, I don't think it was bad.
I don't really understand why he got a 5, but
5's a bit harsh, but he did get sold for the goal. That's the problem. And I guess if you're marking down Dyer harshly for the goal, you got to look at the same as Sanchez, because they both made some really bad mistakes.
What else you got there, Sim?
We got some more tweets. What's this one say? This is from Will WC. Says, under Mourinho, Spurs have picked up 66 points from 38 games. That's marginally better than Martin Jol's 65 points that he managed with this squad. And obviously he's now put the Spurs squad that Martin Jol had, which was actually, I don't know what, it wasn't a bad squad.
Yeah, it was a good squad. 2005
squad. Was a terrible
first
squad.
11 was actually
He's using it as a stick to beat him with. But look, yeah, Mourinho, I think his first 38 games in charge, that probably is like 5th or 6th place, which is where we finished last season. I'm
not going to judge him on last season, because I think every manager needs at least a year until you can start to see their team, their performances, because you're always going to have a residual performance from the previous manager. So I always like to give it a year, and then after that year, it's completely down to that manager. If whatever the team is doing on the pitch, that's him. You can't blame anyone else for that. He's had his transfer window now. He got the players he wanted in, so we should now be seeing a Mourinho team, a full Mourinho team. So the good and the bad and the ugly.
Is it difficult to judge what any one manager this season when everyone seems to be in the same boat in a weird way in the Premier League? Like the whole
everyone's dropping points. You mean?
Everyone is dropping points. Everyone is being made to look like a bit of a mug, kind of the whole season. Everyone is struggling. Like even top of the league, Man United, right? They're on course on 36 points. They're on course for like 75 points, right? Which in normal times gets you fourth if you're lucky. You know what I mean? So when the top is on course for like for a points total, which would have usually get you fourth and not a league challenge. Is it difficult to judge managers right now at this stage of the season on how they're performing when everyone's struggling? When everyone's struggling, how can you judge who's actually struggling, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
it's a difficult one.
Yeah, maybe. I tend not to think like that, though. I always just think about my own team. Do you need to wait
till the... Yeah, I know. Of course, we all do.
That's just what we do, isn't it?
Of course we do. But I'm saying, when you're judging Mourinho on, like, how he's doing, right? Obviously, we're 6th, but we're 6 points off top, right? The league is so tight. And just because we're 6th, does that mean we're struggling? If we win next week and we're 3rd, does that mean we're doing great again? Like, you know what I mean? It changes week by week so much.
It's because it's so tight up there. Like 3 points is like makes a big difference. That's the thing.
Is it just a case of being a bit patient, or do you have to make sweeping judgments right now?
No, I think, like I said, you've got to give him a year. He's been there a year now, hasn't he? But he's judge it at the end of this season. He's had one. Then he'll have one full season. And then we can start to really see, what we're looking at. I mean, the way it's going, where do you think we'll finish?
I think we'll finish in the top 4.
Yeah.
I think we'll finish in the top 4. I don't know. Look, I'm just as frustrated at the drop points as anyone. But I personally look at how we play, and I look at the problems we have, and I compare them to the problems a lot of the teams have in the top 6. And I just feel like our problems are more manageable. I think they're more solvable. And I think I don't think we've been outplayed pretty much.
Well, this is
many times.
I like this comment in The Guardian. It says it has become a recurring theme, and Spurs ended up paying the price for Jose Mourinho's conservatism when Fulham, inspired by a thrilling cameo from Ademola Lookman, punished their negative opponents with a deserved equaliser. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's the conservatism.
Okay, but
it's the negativity. Not just the missed chances, it's the personality on the pitch that I'm taking issue with.
But but then how do you if we're so conservative, right? Can you get this tweet up? How do you explain this tweet? We are 2nd in the league for chances created.
That's because of Son and Kane.
That can't all be Son and Kane.
It is.
Huh?
90% of our goals come from Son and Kane.
Yeah, but we're 2nd in the league, which means we are creating.
Yeah, because of those two.
So are you saying
we've got a conservative team with 2 world-class players in there? Yeah,
but you can't. No. A team creates chances, not 2 players. The team creates chances.
Well,
the team operates in a way to allow those 2 players to thrive, and that if you're saying that, but the team creates chances.
I think that actually it's the individual brilliance from Kane and Son that have opened up teams.
But if we're so conservative, are you saying this?
We are conservative.
But you're saying are there 17 teams below us who are also more conservative because they create less than us? Are they more conservative than us?
I think there's actually you could argue teams that play a little bit more on the front foot, but they just don't have the cutting edge that we have. That's the thing. We've got that cutting edge. That's what's making the difference. If you take Kane and Son out of our team, I don't know where we'd be, to be honest with you. Whereas I think other teams can sort of can score goals more of like a team goal. Whereas I think with us, it's sort of like look at
No, but
some of the goals we're scoring are just individual brilliance from Kane and Son.
Yesterday, right? You're saying it's all down to Kane and Son, right? We created yesterday 7 big chances, 7, which is extreme, which is a big amount of big chances. Let me clarify. Only 1 was created by Kane or Son. 2 created by Aurier, 2 created by Reguilon, and 2 created by Ndombele. So it's a team effort that are creating these chances. It's not just Kane and Son.
Yeah, but we didn't score.
Yeah, I know. But my point is we're being criticised for being too conservative. Yeah. I'm saying, as a whole in the league, we've created the second. We're 2nd in the league for chances created. You can't be second. Surely you can't be 2nd in the league for chances created if you're that conservative.
Again, I don't judge it just on stats. I look at the way they're playing. I judge it on when you're watching it. How does it feel? What's going on? Do you feel as though the whole team's retreating, or do you feel as though do you feel as though you're on the back foot? Do you feel like you're on the front foot? Can you feel a goal like you're about to concede? Do you feel like you're going to score? That's how I judge it. I take a broad brushstroke on it, and that's how I refer to that as conservative. You know, when you watch us and you go, this looks pedestrian. I can see, you know, we're looking really pedestrian. What's a statistic for that? There isn't a stat for that. You just know we're looking pedestrian right now. So when he's talking about in here conservatism, and I agree with that, it's not. You can't break that down just with stats. You just go, we look conservative, and it's more of a right brain thing than a left brain thing. You know.
No, we can look conservative, but it doesn't that just couldn't that just be our perception in terms of. In terms of in the first half, a lot of the time we create a lot of chances, right? And we're not killing games off when we are creating chances. Football isn't as simple as if you want to attack, you're going to dominate, and it's our choice. You know what I mean? Everything's up to us, and sometimes you have to deal with what the opposition is throwing at you, right? And if the opposition is need a goal, right, and they're 1-0 down, they're obviously going to be a bit more offensive. They're going to try and maneuver their team to try be a bit more front foot, try and get on the ball and try and get a goal. And you can't in a football game, you can't just create chances all the time. Sometimes when you create chances, you've exploited a weakness in the back line of the opposition, and then they realise you've exploited it and they plug that gap, and then you can't do it again. Right, and so that chance doesn't always come around. I'm
not talking about chances even. I'm just talking about things like when you're moving the ball through the midfield, when you have the option to go forwards. Don't just go sideways with it. And I was still seeing a lot of that. You know, so play it into the pockets, play it into the spaces. Even if you give the ball away, like take a little bit more of a risk. There's too much. It's too cautious. That's what I'm seeing at the moment. You know, I called it the caution paradox, or you could call it the caution trap, where the more cautious you're being, you think that's going to prevent a goal, but you end up going more on the back foot from doing that. And I was just seeing that. That's what I'm noticing. Little things like that. And I actually noticed when Ndombele came a little bit deeper, immediately he was pinging the balls through the lines. Immediately he was getting things going. And that's all it took, just a little bit more bravery on the ball. We weren't brave enough. That's the thing. And it's not just about chances created. It's just like the general personality on the pitch. It just looks a little bit beleaguered, a little bit insipid, a little bit kind of nervous, a little bit too cautious. And I just think we can show a little bit more guile and a little bit more invention. I just don't see why we can't.
No, I do agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with anything you just said. I just think people think that whenever you've conceded a bit of possession or you've under the cosh a bit, people think like, oh, it's because we have Mourinho in charge. People just point to the fact, oh, it must be Jose sitting back. But I don't think that's always the case. I don't think football.
I actually think he wants us to play more on the front foot, because I remember in the documentary. I mean, I know you got to take documentaries with a pinch of salt because they cobble it together. But he was saying during the halftime talks, he was saying, guys, I want you to press.
Exactly.
And actually, we weren't doing any pressing last season at all. So maybe there's maybe that the players aren't the message isn't getting to the players, despite Mourinho's his calls to them. So I don't know.
Or maybe we're just not good enough to keep up that control for 90 minutes.
Yeah,
because we have control. There's clearly elements in a lot of these games we have control.
There are times, there are phases where we look in control, and then we seem to just sort of
But it's just frustrating because when we are in control, we create a lot of chances. But even when we're not in control, my point is, even when we're not in control, it's not like we concede loads of chances. We don't. We just make one mistake, and we always get punished for it. Okay. All right. We've got another tweet here from Thomas Nation. He says, Jose just should stop playing his favourites. Poch has won a trophy, whereas Jose has won sod all. Well, all right. I'm not sure.
Are you happy for Poch? I'm happy for Poch.
Do you think it's weird when
he's like the uncle? Like,
I am happy for Poch. I don't think I've got no problem with Pochettino. Getting a trophy on his side. I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's got that monkey off his back. Yeah. And I'm glad he's got won that. But
I love that guy.
Sometimes it's weird. Like if you show any sort of love or happiness for Pochettino, you get people like, why are you happy for Poch? He won nothing for us. Like let him go. Or it's just like, all right, just calm down. I'm happy for him. Yeah. Let him win a trophy. Let me be like what's wrong?
I can't say I've got any love for AVB. You know what I mean? But Poch is he's in my heart. That man.
To tender, we have another tweet here. It says, I still don't think Winks is the type of player I want next to Højbjerg, and Dyer doesn't make smart decisions. Toby is the veteran centenary, and I feel that maybe getting Militao and Sabitzer would really push us a level ahead, cause maximum with this team is top 4.
I like that. Who was that? I really like that comment, by the way. Whoever said that. Tatanka.
That
was like a WWF wrestler. That was a really good comment, mate. I totally agree with that. Everything you've said. Totally. Should we talk about Winks? Let's talk about Winks, baby.
We can talk about Winks. I don't think he was bad yesterday.
I don't. I think that when you play Winks, you hand the midfield over to the other team.
I disagree.
I think there's so many... what he does is he flatters to deceive, because what he does is he looks very busy on the ball. Like Scott Parker used to be very busy on the ball.
Scott Parker was a good player.
Scott Parker was good, but the difference is he doesn't really do enough on the ball. He doesn't do enough with the ball. And he also... another thing that frustrates me, and this was something that Dyer used to do, and I used to get annoyed with Dyer doing it, he doesn't make an angle for himself in midfield. So when the centre-backs have got the ball, he doesn't create an angle for himself.
Or to receive the ball. He
actually, if you watch it, he goes behind the opposition player. So it gives no other option than a Toby ping, or to go out wide, or to go to somewhere else. As your number 8, you've got to be calling for the ball. You've got to say, give me the ball, take the game by the scruff of the neck. Really call for the ball. Get on the ball. Spray those passes. And I think he doesn't do that. I think he goes missing in that position. And I think playing him often feels like he's playing with 10 men. That's honestly my opinion. I know it creates a very divisive Winks. He cuts a divisive figure amongst the fans, but that's how I feel about him. And I don't think he had a terrible game yesterday, but I also don't think he had a great game.
I think we look better in possession, and I think we create a lot more chances, and I think we have a bit more control of the ball when Winks is on the pitch. I feel like when we are in a game where we have to defend more, where we do concede possession, he isn't as effective.
Yeah,
I do agree with that. And I think we have players who are better on the ball than him, and we have players who are better off the ball than him. That's true.
He doesn't... for me, he doesn't tackle. He doesn't even tackle enough. I was looking at some stats. Right, I'm going to ask you this. How many tackles do you think he puts in a game?
Probably 1 or 2.
Yeah, one tackle a game. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And I wrote this down on a bit of paper. Okay, and I was just...
he's come armed with
stats. Because Simi loves his stats, so I've brought some stats in. So he's got 2 goals, which you could say, he's not a goal scorer. Okay, I get that. 2 assists. How many through balls do you think he's played in his entire Spurs career?
How many through balls?
Through balls.
How many games?
So he's played 102 Premier League games. How many through balls do you think he's played?
I'm going to go with 20.
11. That's just not good enough, for a centre midfielder. How many blocked shots do you think Winks has had?
Blocked shots?
Yeah.
How many times has he blocked a shot?
Yeah, so out of 102 games, how many times has he blocked a shot out of 102 games?
25?
9.
9 shots blocked.
Yeah. Interceptions. Out of 102 games, how many interceptions do you think he's had? So more than 1 a game, or less than 1 a game, or 5 a game, or...
I would say 50.
Yeah, 80 out of 102.
80.
So that's less than 1 a game interception. So for me, that's just not good enough as a midfielder. It doesn't bring enough to the team, creatively or defensively. He's not robust, not good in the air, and I just think that you hand the midfield over when you play Winks. And I know he's one of our own, but I just think we could be improving in that position. I do like him as a fringe player, though. I think he's a good squad player to have, but. Yeah, I think we need to be thinking about replacing him.
Yeah, look. I'm not saying Winks can't be upgraded. I've said that continuously. He obviously can be upgraded. I just think a lot of the time when we don't get a win, I feel like he gets scapegoated a lot because people blame him for the defeat because they don't. I think people don't see a lot of the good work he does when we're in possession, because a lot of the time he's passing it into players in positions, right, in dangerous positions. For example, he would pass it from a central midfield into the final third, and then if the guy wastes possession in the final third,
it goes on him as a
right.
missed chance.
Exactly. But all of a sudden, you don't see it doesn't compute with people that Winks was the one who played the ball.
But I get that as
it doesn't really.
Yeah.
People don't realise that, and but because he's wasted the chance, we don't score, and then we end up not winning.
Yeah.
Like Winks obviously has his, like, people think, oh, what did Winks do? He didn't do anything that game. When actually he was doing good stuff, and he was let down.
He was let down by the finisher.
Exactly, let down by a lot of players, and I feel like that goes overboard. But I do agree. In terms of his defensive work. I think he can work alongside a Højbjerg, because I think Højbjerg does a lot of the defensive job.
I've actually got Højbjerg's stats. Are you interested?
Oh, go on. Yeah, but Højbjerg's different players.
No, they're totally different. But I've got okay. So this is in the last 126. So it's almost the same amount of games. It's 20 games or so more. He's got 5 assists. He's got 4 goals, through balls. How many do you reckon?
Through balls from Højbjerg.
Yeah. Well, 20 through balls, and then
20.
Yeah. And then, okay, out of 102 games, how many tackles do you think Winks does? Have I answered that?
Yeah, but Højbjerg's a tackle machine.
Yeah. So Winks has done 95 tackles out of 102. Højbjerg has done 288 tackles out of 126.
That's in the Premier League.
Yeah. And his duels won is 726, and duels lost 695 for Højbjerg, which, is pretty damn good.
Højbjerg has been something special.
And actually, Winks has won more duels than he's lost, so give him credit there.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Okay.
Look, I can understand people's frustration with it. I'm not saying Winks is the best centre mid in the world. He's not, and he's definitely a player we can upgrade on. I just think people.
He's easy to scapegoat.
He's very easy to scapegoat.
Yeah.
And we've
got a lot of players who can scapegoat, though. To be honest with you, haven't we?
We've
probably got 5 or 6 players like that. Do you want to go to another paper?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Cavit. I've got Cavaliero there. Cavaliero's sensational. Would you say it's a sensational header? Cavaliero's sensational header.
It was a pretty good header, to be fair. It was a pretty good header. Do you think Lloris could have done a bit better?
Yeah, I do think.
Yeah, I think get a hand to it.
Yeah, that's the thing about Lloris. It's those moments where you need him to be a little bit bigger. And he would probably reach that, wouldn't he? Get his positioning right. That he just does let in a few of those every season, doesn't he? Yeah,
it's a difficult one. It was a very good header though.
But don't take anything away from Reece. I think since he came back from his injury, what was it last year? I think he's looked the most reliable I've seen him.
Do you think it helps him playing under Mourinho and not having that sweeper keeper role he had under Pochettino?
Yeah, I do, because I think he's not going to encounter so many moments where he's exposed. So he can just he's not going to get caught out so many times. So yeah, but I don't think he was really playing that sweeper keeper role so much in the tail end of the Poch era. I think that was more towards the beginning era, wasn't it? More the AVB era, wasn't it?
What, when he joined?
When he played the sweeper keeper role, he was
early Pochettino, was he?
It was early Poch, but I don't think he did it so much towards the tail end.
Yeah. But you say that, we hear a few times he got stuck, like Barcelona at Wembley. He came out and completely missed the ball and they scored.
Yeah, there's less of that. There's less of those sort of brain fart moments.
Yeah, he doesn't come out much. In terms of that sweeping, that's gone. And I think that's better because he did make a few of those. And one thing he's also very good at now, he's a lot more authoritative coming for crosses. A lot more authoritative. He used to flap at them. He doesn't flap at them anymore. He comes and claims them now, which is good.
Yeah.
I've been happy with that.
I need to think about that one. I need to go and watch it. Now you mentioned you've planted the seed, I'll go and watch that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's a lot better. Let's look at this. Let's look at a tweet here from Josh Ashwin. He says, Mourinho keeps saying he wants players other than Son and Kane to get goals, but he starts Sissoko on the right when we have Bale, Lucas and Bergwijn in our team. Also, Ndombele has a goal in him, and he is the one he takes out. Would you not say Ndombele was tiring 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, he does. The problem with Ndombele, I mean, can we talk about him? Because I just thought he was fantastic yesterday.
He's a magician on the ball, isn't he?
He was brilliant. I mean, he's the one that's showing that adventure and invention and adventure on the ball that I want to see. If you've got the opportunity to take on your man. If you're confronted with the opposition, you don't have to go, I'll just go sideways. I'll keep it safe. Just have a little go, mate. Have a little go. And he does that nearly all the time.
He is a special talent.
And just his low centre of gravity. I don't know what it is, but players just ping off him, and he just knows how to move into the spaces, how to rotate into the spaces.
Very instinctive.
Runs into the space and knows how to drill. But behind the back, drills the balls into the strikers through the lines. I mean, he's everything that I want to see from the rest of the team, to be honest with you. It's just, unfortunately, he's a 60-minute player, isn't he? That's the thing.
But the thing is, you can see the way he plays is very intense, though. You can see that.
Yeah.
He plays in a very intense way. Every time he gets the ball, first of all, you're thinking, a lot of the time he gets the ball, you're thinking, how is he going to get out of this one? And he seems to find a way. He's got a box of tricks in him. He's just like, he has different weapons in his armory. He's like Inspector Gadget. What is he going to use this time to get out of the situation?
He's so intelligent on the ball. I think he's one of the most intelligent players I've seen on the ball.
But he's I feel like he's so instinctive. It must be on Inter. You can't plan what he does because he's just...
it is. Yeah, I agree with that.
So instinctive. It's like he just sees the gap in a space and just goes for it.
And he always does the things that you go, I wish a player would just do that. And he's the player that does it. You know what I mean?
But it's very difficult to keep that intensity up for a long time, because I think off the ball he's improved a lot as well. Yeah. You have to say that he makes a lot of tackles, a lot of interceptions now.
He does now,
and he tracks back, and doing that, and also beating all those players, right, and doing that kind of dribbling style that he does, it must take a lot out of him. Because he does it pretty much every time he gets the ball. I never see Ndombele get the ball and just pass it back or something. Very rarely. He always either looks to take on a man, pass it forward between the lines. But especially his dribbling ability, he's always very close to people. He's always, as you say, bouncing off people and stuff. That must take a lot out of you. It can't be easy to keep that up for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It must definitely wear you out near the end of the game. That's why we're always seeing him taken off. And he was taken off 80 minutes yesterday. I was calling him for him to be taken off earlier because I thought he was knackered. Yeah, he was knackered, and you can see. And also, when he's tired, he actually becomes quite a big liability. Unfortunately, on Ndombele, because when he's tired, he still tries to dribbles because he still believes in his ability. But when he's tired, when he's 0.5% off, all of a sudden he's a lot easier to be tackled.
Yeah,
he's really a lot easier to be tackled.
Points, yeah,
and he tries it a lot, and he ends up losing the ball a lot when he's tired.
Yeah, but I still think a 60-minute Ndombele, I'll take that.
Oh yeah,
that,
he's
for 60
minutes. For 60 minutes, he's the best player on the park.
Yeah,
every time.
I almost feel like we need to be building the midfield around Ndombele. That's how we need to be doing it. Actually, another thing I wanted to say yesterday that I noticed was the first opening phase of the game, the first 10-15 minutes, I thought Fulham had the upper hand. And I noticed that when we start to look good, that correlates with when Kane starts to drop deep into a playmaker role, and he starts getting into that pivotal keystone position in the centre of the pitch, where he'll pick up the ball, he'll then spray the passes, and then he'll run forward and get into the attacking position. That's when we look at our best. If you look at all the best performances that we've had this season, Man United, Man City, he was the best player, I think, against Man City. Yep. He was getting into that pivotal keystone position in the centre of the park. When he drifts further forward, what tends to happen, if you can take a screen grab of the pitch when this happens, there's so much space in the middle of the park. And then what happens is we just have to keep lumping long balls through. Yeah. And the attackers because the attackers are expecting a ball quicker through midfield, earlier, they're waiting so long that they're drifting further forward. And then we have this big chasm in the middle of the park, and there's no one to set off the play. And that's when we start to turn over territorial possession and control of the game, I've noticed.
Okay.
So we need to either build the midfield around Ndombele, or Kane needs to keep dropping back into that position, into that quarterback position.
Let me ask you this. Right now, a lot of the time we're playing Ndombele in this more advanced position, which he is kind of doing well because he's doing a lot of through balls, he's getting a few assists and stuff. But do you think we're not going to unlock the true potential of this team until we work our way to get Højbjerg alongside Ndombele together?
I don't know.
Do you think that's the future of the team?
They are the future of the team, yeah.
But do you think, as a pivot, do you think Ndombele's future is being in that role in the centre of the park?
What, you want to see a two-man pivot? You want to see a two-man
him and
pivot?
Højbjerg with obviously either Dele or Lo Celso a bit further forward. Do you not think that could be the future in terms of us having more control in possession of games rather than us ceding possession like we always seem to do?
I don't know, because it's not like... Do you remember Dembele used to be a lot more disciplined in his position? He used to just stay in front of the back four, and actually that was a little bit of a frustration. He used to get the ball, ghost past a couple of players, and then you'd never have that end product that actually Ndombele does.
Yeah, agreed.
That's actually that was the only thing missing from Dembele, that he wasn't selfish enough. Yeah. You know what I mean? With that end product. And I think Ndombele's got that. But I think with Ndombele, he likes to drift around the pitch a lot more. And we have a lot of those types of players. Sissoko likes to do that. He likes to kind of like put out fires everywhere on the pitch. The only one that's really disciplined in their role, I would say, is Højbjerg. He's the only one that you feel as though he maintains his sort of position on the pitch from the outset. So I don't know. Did that answer your question?
One sec. Yeah. Look, I feel like Ndombele, right, where he's playing at the moment in central attacking midfield, I feel like it's unlocked a bit of that offensive nature, which I don't think he had at Lyon in terms of contributing regularly to like goals and assists around the box, and his dribbling ability in tight space is second to none. But I do feel like...
How would you deploy him then? How would you...
I feel like that pivot next to Højbjerg, we've tried wings to Sissoko, they both have their strengths and they both have their weaknesses. And I feel like a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 with Ndombele in the pivot could work better in terms of us having more control of possession, because he's not scared to receive the ball with a player on him. He's not scared to receive the ball in between the lines. He's not scared to make a pass.
Press resistant, I think.
Very press resistant is the term.
I like whoever came up with that. I think you're a genius. Whoever came up with that term, press resistant, because I've been trying to look for that concept in my head in a word, in a label form for ages, and I think he's brilliant at that. Yeah. And
I think that is, for me, the future of the team is somehow. Because I think he's improving so much off the ball in Ndombele, he can play that role in a pivot. And I think if we can get him, Højbjerg and Lo Celso together, that could be...
That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see as the three, don't we?
Yeah. But at the moment, he doesn't trust Ndombele in that pivot. He doesn't trust him. That's why he plays him further forward. But do you think we're at the stage now we can get him there? Or do you still think he's not there yet?
I don't think he's going to throw himself into the tackles. I mean, and he was meant to be the replacement for... Moussa Dembele. And I can see there's certain things that he does well, and there's certain things he does better than Dembele, but I don't think he's tough enough and got the work rate to play in that position, if you know what I mean. You've really got to snap into the heels of the opposition to do that, and I just don't think he's got that about him, you know. I think he can be a little... off the ball, he can be a little bit too lethargic, a little bit too nonchalant. And so I'm not sure if that could work. It could work. But also, don't you think with Ndombele, it almost looks as though sometimes he's carrying a hip injury or something. He does sort of wobble around a little, he wobbles a bit, doesn't he?
Never seems too comfortable, does he? The way he moves, by the way, is so unique. It's very low centre, like
he's
the way
such a breath of fresh air. That
so
man.
Weird. People have compared him to a hockey player. How he moves, how he kind of skates around like a hockey player.
That just like that
low centre,
that kind of.
Yeah, he is a bit like a hockey player when you think about it.
Radius turning circle that he's got. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's look at some more tweets that people have been sending us through. We've got Luke Newman here. He says, if Mourinho wants to play Sanchez in centre back for pace to play a higher line, do you think Jaffet will get a chance in that role? And when will Rodon get his chance again? He looks good in the air and reasonably quick, so could definitely play the Dyer role. Do you think Jaffet has a chance of...
I really like Jaffet.
Should he get more... Because he's pretty much behind... He's fifth choice right now, Jaffet looks like at the moment in terms of centre-back. Do you think he deserves a chance instead of someone like Sanchez, who's been in the team recently?
Definitely. I think definitely. I really like Tanganga. I always have done. As soon as he came on, he hit the ground running. It was just injuries that's blighted him and affected his ability to get some consistency going. But I think if he's given a chance, he gets a string of games under his belt. I think I definitely want to see him ahead of Sanchez, don't you?
It's an interesting one. I've liked what I've seen so far from Jaffet. Do I want him? I don't know if he's ready to be.
What
starter.
You think Sanchez ahead of Tanganga if they're at their best?
Yeah,
really.
At the moment, yeah. I know people like Jaffet, and I like Jaffet, but even in games he started, I've seen him make a lot of mistakes. I know he's young, and young players always make mistakes, but
and Sanchez hasn't.
Oh yeah, he has. He has. I'm just saying. I've seen Jaffet also make a lot of mistakes. So
yeah. Who's the lesser evil?
Yeah,
at this
I know.
point?
It's difficult. Yeah. I guess maybe you would think with Jaffet, because he's younger, the more game time he has, he'll iron that out. Yeah. So maybe he does need that time. But right now, I do think actually Sanchez makes less mistakes than Tanganga.
What's his situation at the moment then? What is he injured?
Who, Tanganga? Yeah. He played against Marine, so I don't think he's injured.
Okay, so
he just hasn't
got the game time yet.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, yeah, I would quite like to see him get a few games on, string a few games together. And I think Rodon, I don't know why he's not getting more game time.
I'd like to see more of Rodon. I'd like to see
I know
more
you
of
talked
Rodon.
about yesterday about Mourinho bleeding in the young players, but there's an example. He could be playing. I think he could be playing Rodon a little bit more.
We've got a super chat here from Romario Galvin. He says, real quick, lads, on Dele Alli's Instagram story yesterday, personally, I thought it was childish and unnecessary. Did you see
we've
his
got
picture?
I've actually got it here.
Go on.
So I'll flash it up if anyone... Oh, it's tiny.
It's a tiny,
Frank, you're going to have to...
zoom in on this one. there.
Right, we're going to test our
camera
producer
quality.
here. Can he? How?
Can you see that? Yeah, there you go. You can probably see it.
Do you want to read that out, Sim? Because I can't see.
Well, it says Dele Alli, unused sub last night, posted this pic after the final whistle.
What do you make of that? I mean, that could be taken out of context.
Yeah, I mean, you could read in two ways. Either
he could be disappointed about the game.
Yeah, he could be disappointed we drew.
Yeah.
Or he could be disappointed he didn't get in the team, which I can understand because why we only used 2 subs. He's on the bench. Why not bring him on for the last 10 minutes?
Personally, I don't think it would have made a difference.
Why not give it a go?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't understand that. When we need a goal, Fulham at home, I think Dele Alli's a good player you can have to bring on.
I just don't know what Mourinho's doing with him because they made a mockery of him in the documentary and froze him out and to try and encourage him to get his confidence back, and because that's what it is. It's like low confidence, right? But I think he's playing a game with him. It's almost like, you can come back in and then you're going to be dropped again and then you're not going to be in the team again for another few games. It's almost like playing mind games with Dele, don't you think?
But
I just don't understand it. It's sort of like it's a weird communication he's got with Dele at the moment, and I can kind of see I can see Dele's frustration. He's like, what do I have to do? What do you need to see from me to get a little bit more faith from the manager? Yeah,
but the thing is, right? People are saying, "Oh, it's Mourinho alienating him." These problems were long before Mourinho.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
They're long before. So how can we put it down to just Jose? How he's treating him? Because he should have been out of the team under Poch. He should never have started that Champions League final.
It's funny you say that, but I actually noticed a change in Dele Alli's performances in 2018. But Poch still kept faith with him, for 2 seasons, or 1 season, 1.5 seasons after that. So I actually noticed a big dip with Dele Alli then, but at least he was still playing him. But Mourinho's not really playing him anymore. He's sort of freezing him out a lot more now. So he doesn't know where he stands, does he?
Yeah, but isn't it up to Dele to get back in the team? Is he being treated harshly, or is it up to him to prove that he's worthy?
Mourinho came out and said, "I really loved his performance against." I know it's Marine. He goes, "I really loved Dele Alli's performance against Marine." So if you're going to say that to a player and then not play him the next game, then what does that? What? It's like sending mixed messages, isn't it?
Yeah, but who's he going to play him again instead of? I know you should have come on late in the game, but he shouldn't have started. You would have started him?
Well, I don't know, but it's just a weird mixed message to send. He's come on, he's played really well. The manager's come out publicly, supported him and applauded him, and then to sort of like to freeze him out, and then him posting up that picture on Instagram, it almost feels a little bit like the end of a breakup or something, doesn't it?
Quick super chat from Romario again. He says, John has been spot on the whole show. Big up, John.
You're a very intelligent man.
Romario, up to you. Okay. In the Dele Alli thing, I don't know. I just think the whole Ndombele situation has proven to me that even though Mourinho seems to be alienating someone and seems to be criticising someone publicly on whatever, right? And he's not giving him the relevant minutes that we all think he should be getting. If he does prove himself, he will get back in the team. And I think that Ndombele situation has proven to me that it's up to Dele to get back on the team, not up to Jose to give him minutes that he doesn't think he deserves. It's a difficult one, and we all want Dele to get back to his best, but it's been so long now. It's been a real long time since he's been at his best. It's like you have to question him. You have to question whether his motivation is there. You have to question whether he really wants to, he's motivated to get back to his best.
I've got a lot of thoughts on Dele, and I think it's, he does need to take responsibility himself. Like, one thing that I've noticed, and this is not, I'm not going to judge a book on it by its cover, but when he first arrived to where he is now, when you see videos of him and stuff like that, I remember he came on as sub in Europa, and the first thing he did, I noticed him, he looked up at the Jumbotron and he did this, and I just thought, that's not the Dele Alli that we bought, in that first season where he really wanted it.
I agree.
And he's really playing for the team. He's almost becoming a little bit of a playboy, And I just think, shave the moustache off, get the hair, just forget about your blend haircut, your hairstyle. Like, just go back to just loving football again and pulling your socks up. That's the Dele Alli that I want to see. And I think if he did that, I think we'd see the best out of Dele Alli. But I think I feel as though he's more lifestyle based than football based at the moment.
The funny thing is that's what we were worried about when he first broke into the team, when he was getting a lot of attention and stuff. Yeah. People used to say, look, he's knuckled down, he's like he's playing really well and he's working really hard for the team and he's very motivated to break into the team. Yeah. But hopefully he doesn't go the way of a lot of players who do break in that team and get all that attention and stardom, that he keeps his feet grounded, and maybe he hasn't. Yeah, and
I just think he's just... I don't know. Maybe there's a lifestyle to football imbalance going on there.
Like he's not Harry Kane,
is
he?
But in his defence, what I would also say is he thrived under a Poch team where we were dominating the possession. We were camped out in the opposition's half for 80% of our matches, 90% of our matches. Mm-hmm. His role was to be the free spirit in the team. He would be the one that would play like the kid on the playground. He would be the one doing little German nutmegs, and he would be the one that was given license to go wherever he wanted, almost like a free role. And by giving Dele Alli that license, that freedom, he would often drift further forward than Kane. And in that season where he scored God knows how many goals from technically midfield, he was actually playing, if you look at the heat map, he was actually playing as a second striker. Mm-hmm. And so he was given that freedom to do that. Now in this Mourinho team, it's a lot more of a disciplined team. We're not dominating possession so much. We're not camped out in the opposition's half so much. So his role used to be the one that picked the lock. He was the one that was able to find that little cute pass, the little flick pass, to Kane or something like that. Yeah. That's not his role anymore. And so when he plays now, he's playing in a position where he's having to do a lot more of the donkey work in midfield, and that is not Dele Alli. He's not that type of player. He's more of a tricks and flicks type player,
which Mourinho doesn't like.
It's a bit of an oil and water situation with Dele Alli and a Mourinho team. So from that perspective, I don't blame it all on Dele. I just think it's a sort of an imbalance with the kind of the styles, a clash of styles. Yeah, so that's what I would say. So I don't think it's all Dele Alli. I just think it's a clash of styles with how we used to play and how we're playing now.
There was this big mammoth comment I got on YouTube yesterday. Or maybe I think it's worth reading out. They were talking about our analysis of the game yesterday. Yeah. He says, weak analysis. He says, first things first, this team is in an evolution and is far from completion. Every game is different. Just because the scoreline says 1-1 doesn't mean it's the same, or doesn't mean anything. Today's tactics created 7 big chances. Son alone missed 4 big chances. Why we concede? Individual ability and not tactical mistakes. Only solution is to improve players via the transfer market, as Tottenham are defending the best from open play in the Premier League, e.g. buy a centre-back. Why no Dele? Why no Bell? Okay. Then bring on we create 9 chances instead of 7. We still didn't score. That was the problem. Sometimes it's not too deep. I'm guessing he's referring to us playing deep. Yeah. When referring to past games, Newcastle 24 shots, 13 on target, 4 big chances. VAR 97th minute. West Ham 3-0, 80 minutes gone. 2 set piece goals and an own goal. 94th minute, last kick of the game. Palace and Wolves were games that were hard to control due to opponents playing well, only conceded for 1 set piece. Fulham is in the Newcastle territory, a bad shooting night in the Premier League, a la Liverpool versus West Brom. The set piece problem, Jose says, I think there are things that have to be with characteristics of players. There are some things that are difficult too. There are some things they do with organisation of the team, but other things they do that have to do with individual skills and individual ability, and it's as simple as that. He says, until a new centre-back comes, more likely in the summer, poor individual ability on set pieces and one-on-one marking and judging ball trajectory will cost the team. Anything to do with organisation, Jose has been spot on with the defence from open play.
What, he fit all that into one text?
He did fit all that into one text, this guy. I thought it was quite interesting. Yeah, but I liked it.
Fair play for the dedication of...
that was from Azaria Kati.
Well, we appreciate
we do appreciate. We do read the comments, guys. So I thought I'd read that before I read that out. And there's a mammoth thread here by Charlie THFC, but I'm not going to read it all because it's too long. But I'll already give you a retweet, Charlie. I'll give you a retweet, but unfortunately it's way too long to read the whole out right now. El Cuco says... Tottenham 3 and Atletico Madrid 2 have conceded just 5 goals from open play in 32 games combined this season. So 2 of the best defensive sides in Europe. Unfortunately, they're sitting top and we're not. Let's see, anything else people tweeting us?
I've got one last paper here.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. What's the paper saying?
So this is from the Daily Star.
What does it say? Parker's Cavago here.
That's terrible.
That's awful.
That's awful.
That is awful. Yeah, I mean, also one thing to point out is Caballero. He's 5'8", and he's beating Dyer in the air.
He just didn't track the flight of the ball, and I've just noticed he keeps doing
that. The jump.
Yeah, he's
done. And do you remember at Wolves when we were 1-1, right at the end of the game, they had that chance. And there was also the same thing.
That's right, yes.
Same thing, Dyer not missing the flight of the ball right at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly the same thing. So I think he's got to look at Dyer. I really do. As much as he likes Dyer.
So what was the reason for not playing Toby? Was there a reason?
He just prefers Dyer.
Please play Toby.
I think our two best defenders in terms of a defensive point of view are Dyer and Toby. I think the problem with playing both of them together, he finds, is it forces us to be too deep, and he wants to play a high line. He wants to have a faster defender in there, so if balls go over the top, we have a defender who can run back and recover, rather than Toby and Dyer, who aren't that good at that. The problem is Sanchez just isn't up to it. He's not. He doesn't have the composure on the ball, and he's always got a mistake in him, like he did yesterday. But that's why I think he prefers. That's why he's trying to bed in Sanchez back into the team, because he wants to play a bit high, because he's getting that criticism of being too deep.
Yeah.
But I feel like when we play Toby and Dyer, we kind of have to be that deep. Otherwise, we're going to get found out in behind.
Yeah. Do you know? I actually noticed that when we sold Walker, we slowly started to retreat more and more, like game by game, month by month, season by season. And we went from being a high press team camped out in the opposition's half to being a sit back team at the tail end of Poch, you know. We were sitting back very deep under Poch compared to before.
We have breaking news on the social media. Let's get this up. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, breaking news. Jack Clark has completed his loan deal to Stoke City for the remainder of the season.
Okay.
Stoke, that is the confirmed. Stoke have just announced it on their Twitter account. So I guess good luck to Jack Clark on his journey for the second half of the season.
He hasn't. He needs some time to,
I haven't been that impressed with him, to be honest, when I've seen him play.
I haven't seen that much from him, but he's got a little sparkle in him. He's got a little something in him. So I'd like to see him have a little bit of game time.
He had two loan spells last year. First half of the season he was at Leeds and couldn't really get back in the team, and then second half of the season he was at QPR and also struggled there. So hopefully Stoke, he can find a bit of a home.
We never know.
For 6 months, and hopefully he can do well there.
It can happen. It happened with Danny Rose, didn't it, when he went on loan, came back.
Matt Hayes has tagged us in a tweet. Let's take a look at this. It says, play Delhi over and over. Play Delhi. Just says play Delhi.
Delhi lover.
Yeah. He thinks Delhi's being harshly treated. And I can see both sides of this Delhi argument, to be honest. And what's this? Someone's tagged us in. This is years since they've last won a trophy. So Spurs are first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. We are the seventh shortest gap between trophies in the Premier League.
So I don't understand that. So explain that one. I can't see the screen from it.
So in terms of longest gap to when we last won a trophy.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's tagged us in it. I'm not sure how relevant it is.
So it was seventh longest or seventh
shortest?
Seventh shortest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's
not that many great. You could say that the calibre of teams.
Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United, Leicester, and then Spurs. So in the Premier League, we're seventh in terms. So you would think when it would have been near the bottom of how people talk about us though in terms of the trophy.
But we're meant to be a big side though.
That's
the difference.
We are.
Yeah.
We weren't a big side in the 90s and noughties, were we? But I don't know why we've been tagged in this. Yeah. I guess maybe he's trolling. I don't know. All right, I think that is it for. Yeah. Let me ask you one more thing.
We haven't done the rating. Oh, we're doing the ratings, aren't we? On another.
Well, I think we're going to do them. We're not going to do them live. We're going to do them after. So.
Yeah. Well, there's some player ratings here from. Shall I read this one from the Daily Star? This one's got Lloris 7, Aurier 7, Sanchez 6, Dyer 6, Reguilon 7, Højbjerg 7, Winks 7,
Winks 7. There you go.
Ndombele 6, Sissoko 6, Son 6, Kane 8.
Wait.
Yeah, Ndombele 6.
He said Ndombele 6.
There was actually a few papers here, and they had Ndombele 6 and Kane 8. I actually felt like the Star. I think it's the Sun. Did I do the Sun? I think because they have like fantasy football, so they always give whoever scores, they give him a high score. But
what is that about?
You 6 in quite a lot of these papers. I actually thought the Telegraph and the Guardian.
These people not watch us play?
Quite good, but the rest didn't.
I don't understand. how these people can give Ndombele a 6. How can I'm sorry. As much as I love Winks, how can they give Winks above Ndombele? I have no idea. How they've done that.
I don't know how they worked this out.
I have no idea how they've done that. That's shocking. Yeah. That is shocking.
Let me quickly do the player ratings in the Daily Mail. They give half scores in this one. Lloris 6.5, Aurier 6.5, Sanchez 6, Dyer 6, Reguilon 7, Winks 6, Ndombele 7, Son 7, Kane 7.5. I think that's quite
Son
accurate.
7.
But I like the fact that Son.
But Son missed so many chances.
Ndombele got a 7 there.
Yeah.
Not a 6.
We've got a super chat here from MoFan TV. He says, we need to have urgency and desire to score a second goal, and we need to stop depending solely on Kane and Son to get us over the line.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I was saying earlier.
But my point is, we create enough chances to get that second goal. We do.
But it's not that. It's more like there's a lack of urgency, though. We might create chances, but there's a lack of urgency from the whole team that I'm noticing. Despite the chances, do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, and it's true.
You know, when Crystal Palace equalised, then we showed urgency, but we hadn't shown that urgency throughout the game. You know what I mean? That was the most urgency we showed. So I'd like to see us, do a bit
but
of
the problem is, as much as I want us to show urgency and kill off the game, right? When you are winning 1-0, the situation isn't urgent.
Look at the Liverpool game. Do you remember at half time it was 1-1?
Yeah.
We came out and we showed urgency. You know, that's what I want to see. Just a little bit of that, even if it's just for like a little 5-minute spell. Just do that. Don't just sort of like let things peter out and just let the game drift. You know what I mean? Just want to see that from the whole team. You know?
Yeah, obviously, I'm frustrated when we concede possession, but I don't know. It's just so annoying. It's just really frustrating because
it's the frustration. If we'd won that game, we'd be loving it.
Because honestly, I feel like we're not in that much of a bad place. I really feel like that.
No, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but there's just things that they're just not going our way at the moment, and I feel like our fortunes can change very quickly.
Yeah,
and it's just very frustrating. Let me know in the comments, where were you guys watching the game last night? Because obviously everyone's watching at home. No one's going to the games. Who are you watching it with? Let me know in the comments below and I'll read it out for you guys. Please continue to tag us on social media and we'll be reading out things you tagged us in. We've got another one here actually from TOT Yid, or Tottenham Yid, I guess he says, why was Sissoko playing right wing when we had 3 right wingers on the bench? We could have scored more if we had a proper right winger there.
I don't know that. I don't know why either. I actually thought Sissoko was all right yesterday, I have to say. Not so much first half, but he grew into the game, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was okay.
He doesn't get enough credit for the stuff he does in the box either.
I agree. In the box?
In the box. Not the opposition's box.
Okay,
box.
fine. All
right.
No,
he doesn't
do anything in the box.
Definitely not the opposition's box.
I was like, is he on one here, John?
He clears a lot of balls, I've noticed, from set pieces, Sissoko. And I don't think he gets the credit for the defensive work.
Yeah.
He puts out a lot of fires all over the pitch.
But yeah, I thought
we did all right.
But do you not think as well, having Sissoko there, the reason why we created so many chances in the first half was because we allowed our fullbacks very high up the pitch in the first half. Aurier and Reguilon both were creating chances yesterday, and both should have had more assists. And maybe having Sissoko in there allowed us to give the fullbacks a bit more freedom.
Possibly, because I really liked Reguilon yesterday. And that was the first time I've seen him.
I thought Aurier was good.
For a good few games, that was the first time I've seen Reguilon really take on his man, try and overlap. I think before that, there was a spell of games where Reguilon was almost, I don't know if he was getting calls from the sidelines from Mourinho to not go forwards or something, but I almost felt as though he was playing within himself the last few games. I don't know if you noticed that, Sim, but yesterday...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yesterday, I thought we showed a lot more adventure on the ball. Do you remember when we first got him, we first started playing him, he looked like the next Ryan Giggs, didn't he? You know what I mean? And then he went a little bit anonymous with that for a while. And now I've started to see it yesterday, a little bit more of that from Reguilon, a little bit more, getting past the fullbacks and really taking on his man. So if that can continue, then I think that's looking good for us.
We have another tweet here saying Jose was scapegoated last night. Yes, he was wrong to play Sissoko on the right, but the whole midfield are to blame for not creating anything. We really need a creative midfielder. It's not good enough to rely on Kane and Son to assist each other.
I don't know. I don't just take the argument that none of it's Mourinho's fault. Do you know what I mean? He's the manager. He picks the team. He coaches the players. He trains the team. He's with them on the training ground. And if the same thing's happening week in, week out, he's got to take responsibility for that. I just don't think you can just deflect it all onto the players.
With our midfielders' options, in terms of people said we have a creativity problem, which I understand. But with Ndombele, I know Lo Celso's injured, but with Lo Celso as well, with Dele Alli, with Bale, with Lucas, with Bergwijn, should we have enough?
Don't forget Lamella.
With Lamella.
We should have. That's the thing. We should have enough. Yeah, we should have enough.
You think we should have enough?
Definitely. We should easily have enough with that personnel.
But if Son and Kane can thrive in this system, why can't the other players? Or are they just not good enough?
They're not on that level. They're not on Son and Kane's
level. They need to be on that level to at least be getting one goal.
I thought actually Moura last season was decent, I thought he popped up with goals. He was, creating chances last season. So, but this season, not so much. There's a big gulf between Kane and Son and the rest of the creative players in our team. That's just fact.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just frustrating, man. Like, all we need is for one player to be at a fifth of Son and Kane's level in terms of goals and assists. And
I was hoping Bergwijn could, start.
I do think we look better with Bergwijn in than out.
But he's not showing what we bought him for.
He's not.
I want to see more of that goal he scored against Man United when he ghosted between the players and he got a shot off early. We're not really seeing enough of that. It's almost a little bit too cautious from him. You need to be selfish on the ball at times.
I don't know where he's been the last few games. He hasn't been in the squad. I'm not sure if he's injured or not.
So I think if when he gets on the ball, Bergwijn, if he can just be a little bit more selfish, really take on his man, be a bit more adventurous, take a risk, a bit more risk taking from him. I think he could blossom into a player, but he's just playing within himself at the moment.
We've got another tweet here. It says from Matt Hayes. It says, last thought from me: fans are too reluctant to call out Højbjerg. 4 centre-mids on the pitch and overran in midfield. Højbjerg not good enough. He only won 3 of his 11 duels. Winks wasn't involved enough. He only won 1 of his 2 duels. Ndombele won 14 out of his 22. So he set the standard, he's saying.
Yeah.
Do you criticise Højbjerg yesterday? He did seem to commit a lot of fouls.
The first half, I didn't think he was having a good game. But I thought the second half of the game, I thought he came into it. Yeah, and he looked good.
But we didn't look as good in the second half.
But he did.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
So he was the opposite of Tottenham's fortunes.
That sometimes happens, doesn't it? But I just thought that he didn't have a good first half, but he had a good second half. But there are times, it's one of those where you love a player so much that when he has a bad game, sometimes the first bad game they have, like you don't want to say anything or you don't really notice it because of how many good games he's had. But if he does have a bad game, I think every Spurs fan has got to call it out, haven't you? You can't just let him let him off the hook because we love him so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't have his best game, I felt, yesterday. He made I thought he made a few tackles, but I thought a few times, I actually thought he was lucky to only get booked as late as he did. He got booked quite late, but he was fouling a lot yesterday in and around our half. But let me read. But
do you know what? We look good when he has a good game and he's spraying the passes around.
And he sprayed that pass for Reguilon for the goal. That was a really good goal, by the way. No one's talked about that goal. What a goal that was.
Yeah. When Højbjerg plays well, Kane. I think we play well, definitely.
I think he's a big factor. Yeah. Let me read out this tweet from Joker. He says, I think these are the games which will give Gareth Bale confidence, and I still don't understand why he didn't come on. Remember that game against Brighton? He didn't do much, but he came on and gave us the winning goal when we really needed it. Why not play him against Fulham? Do you think Gareth Bale should have gotten a run out when the one we needed to push for the winner?
Who did we bring on? We brought on Lamela, didn't we?
Yeah, but we had an extra sub.
And Vinicius. We brought on Vinicius and Lamela. Yeah, you could have brought on Bale. But it's hindsight, isn't it? You know, if Vinicius scores, then it's the perfect sub. Do you know what I mean? I'm concerned about Bale, but then
you've always been concerned.
I felt this was coming. Yeah, I think he's lost his explosiveness, and I don't think we're going to see that back, unfortunately. Which is a shame because you were just hoping for like even just 50% of Bale, but I just think his legs have gone. You know, just don't think he's got that.
Was it worth bringing him in just for the lift it gave everyone?
I do.
You
actually,
think so?
Yeah. Well, 20 million, I'm not sure, but
20 million.
If you take away the price, if you take away the cost of it all, I think it did give us all a lift. Yeah, but it's a shame. But I do think that he would be. He can be deployed. Let's say when you're chasing the game, you've got 10 minutes left. You could play him in more of a central position, and you could just throw him up top. You know what I mean? Because I still think he's got a cultured left foot on him, you know.
Exactly.
So I think if he gets a half chance, I think
that's why I think he needs to be used centrally.
Yeah. So I think you could have brought him on. You could have even brought him on instead of Lamela yesterday and just played him more.
And also, he's very good in the air, really good header.
He's good in the air for set pieces when we're sort of lumping balls in the last 2 minutes of the game or something like that. So yeah, Bale. It's sad, really.
I think he's got a role to play. I
still think.
I think he's got a role. I don't think he's going to be the Bale we thought he was going to be, or hoped he was going to be.
We're nearly in February.
Yeah, I know exactly.
We've only got him for 1 year. Remember,
we're nearly in February, but it's we're not even halfway through the season, so it's weird. It's a weird season. But even if by now, at the end of the season, he just plays the role of super sub or gets a few winners, I think he's worth having around.
Yeah.
And I think he's got the quality to do that, but I don't think him on the right hand side is the solution anymore because I just don't think he has. You need to be explosive.
Doesn't have that acceleration or that explosiveness.
But he still has the quality in that left foot. I really believe that.
Yeah.
So I think centrally is where he.
Although I've also noticed, where's his dead balls gone? His free kicks have been woeful.
Yeah, well, he got hit the post against Antwerp, didn't he?
Yeah, but I remember against West Ham he came on. It's just like really lame effort that the goal, just straight to the flop efforts straight to the goalie, and the other ones I've seen have just been really tame, haven't they?
Yeah,
just don't know what but.
Woolrust says, I feel like there's potential for much more with this team, but Jose's tactics hinder us.
That's what I think. That was the argument I was making earlier.
You say that.
I see, but I get your point as well. It's that when you look at it on paper and stats and chances and all that kind of stuff. I just
think when you look at from the bigger picture overall from a game of football, right? Who should have won that game? Most of the time it's Spurs.
I just think every single player is playing. We're not when Kane and Son are on it. They're in their own world of their own. But it looks like every player is just playing at like 80% of their potential. It looks like. Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand why that is. The handbrake, the guys whoever said it earlier, they're playing with a handbrake on.
Henry Winter.
Yeah, there's a little feel of that at the moment, and I just think play with a little bit more zip. Play, I want to see more players play on the half turn a little bit more. I want to see more players let the ball run across their body, playing through the lines a little bit more, playing into the pockets. I'm seeing too much lateral, sideways, backwards, sideways, ping forwards. Very predictable passages of play. I want to see a little bit more cut and guile through the lines, and there's no reason why we can't with the players that we've got, the creativity that we've got.
I agree.
That's what I think I'd like to see more of. That's what I think the handbrake is referring to.
But we saw it in the first half, didn't we?
I still could see more. I still think we can show more personality on the pitch, more identity on the pitch. Really take it to teams. But it's in the balance at the moment because like you said, positionally in the table, we're not doing too badly. If we go on a little run, suddenly we're up there, potentially contending again.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world. But then if we go on a bad run, suddenly we're looking like we could be slipping down to mid-table. So we're kind of on that precipice at the moment where it could go really well, it could go really badly. So at the moment, I think it's okay. It's still we've got room to be hopeful.
But, people say, it's Jose's tactics and everything. But, you've got to remember, last season, we had one of the worst defences. We were awful at the back. Really bad. This is pre-Jose.
Pre-Jose. But it's funny enough, though, I actually thought that the tail end of last season, we looked better defensively than we do now.
You think so?
I just think that the way that we were closing out games looked a lot
tighter. The way we lost to Sheffield United.
The tail end of...
Last season, after lockdown, you mean?
Tail end of last season, so the last few games.
After lockdown?
Yeah. So around the last 6 games, let's say the last half dozen games.
Well, I think Sheffield United.
I think that we looked quite watertight in those games when we were seeing out the last 10 minutes of games. But now with the last 10 minutes, we seem to be a little bit leaky. Seems to be a little bit, your heart's in your mouth a little bit. You know what I mean?
But it's not from open play though. It's all from.
Yeah, but my heart is still in my mouth.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Kieran Abbott says from Super Chat, he says we have been playing attacking football recently. That's what he says. I'm guessing he's looking back at the Leeds game. Mourinho 1-5-0. I think he's looking at the Leeds game. We won 3-0. Right, we were quite good in that game and attacked well. I guess, before that was Wolves. We weren't particularly attacking in that game. Against Brentford, we deserved to win that game. That was a pretty solid performance. And then against Fulham, we probably should have scored more than one goal. So that's what he's saying. But
they're not the best opposition.
No, that's why we should be more attacking.
That's the thing. We should be against those teams.
Yeah, we should be more attacking in these games.
We should be pulverising these teams. That's the thing.
Yeah. Let me see. More tweets here.
Keep the comments coming in, guys.
Yeah.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe in Ben's absence. Support the chat. Support Ben's absence by giving us a like and a subscribe. Keep the comments coming in. Thanks for all those so far.
We love Poch. Someone's called We Love Poch says, my thoughts, man, Jose is shit, and that's what you get for sacking Pochettino for a dinosaur. Simple as, you'll suffer more. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit hyperbolic. But
people call Jose a dinosaur. I don't understand how people can say that. He's like, this guy is been so successful in his career. Football doesn't change that much, you know what I mean? Football is still the same game it was when he was manager like 20 years ago. It's not that much of a different game. Football's still football. Still play the same way. It's Diego Simeone, right, from Atletico Madrid. He plays quite a conservative way, right? No one calls him a dinosaur. But he's one of the best managers in Europe.
I think because he's younger, that's why.
Yeah, but so?
That's why he's not a dinosaur.
Yeah, but they still play the same way. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't. How is?
But there is going to be a shelf life to managers as well.
Yeah.
So it's just when that shelf.
I know. I disagree with that. I think there's a shelf life at particular jobs. I don't think as a manager himself, you just lose it.
Wenger?
Well, you can lose, yeah, but he was at the same job. That's my point. He was at the same job for a long time, right? If Wenger changed after 10 years, he probably could have kept keeping it fresh, but it can go stale a long time if you stay there. Just like Pochettino, I don't think his shelf life's over. Just his shelf life at Spurs was over at that time.
I do think the game has come on a lot since, let's say, when Mourinho is in his heyday.
Come on, what? How?
I just think it's much more of a high press game now. And even
but it's an evolution, isn't it? It goes in circles.
What, and it will go back to more of a conservative.
Yeah, I think it can do. I think football tactics. Everyone can have their own approach that works for them, but just because Pep won it playing one way, Wenger won it playing another way, so Alex won it playing another way. Jose can win it playing his way, and just because. If it didn't work at Man United or whatever, it doesn't mean it's never going to work again and that's it, he's finished now. I don't think football works like that.
I just think it looks a little bit one-dimensional, and I think we could add in, what I'd like to see is add in, like the Poch press. I don't see why we can't integrate both the press and sitting back and springing on teams and just mixing up a little bit more. At the moment, it is a little bit one-dimensional, and there's a real lack of a plan B. You know what I mean? And as soon as that goal when we concede a goal, and we've got 20 minutes to go. It's almost like a little panic station. It's like, what do we do now? You know what I mean?
But actually, having said that, we usually don't look too bad when that happens because we
show a bit of urgency.
Yeah, because we actually create some chances a lot of the time when we do that. Yeah. It's just that period. There's a lot of the time, that period when we're just settling on the 1-0. That's when we look at our worst.
Yeah,
which is bad.
But please let Son take some free kicks. That's my shout. Please, just let him have a go.
All right, we're getting near the 2-hour mark here. Let's have another tweet here from Kian. He says, Kane shouldn't stay deep and pick up the ball because then no one can score except for Son. We saw that when Kane was playing as a striker yesterday, what happened. Aurier and Reguilon crossed the ball into the box and we nearly scored every time. He's saying Kane shouldn't be dropping as deep and should be getting in the box more.
Well, when we do that, we just tend to not create anything. That's the problem. And we are very reliant on Kane. I said that a few episodes ago. When he plays well, the team plays well. He's pivotal as that playmaker role. And I would love it if he was further forward and someone else could be in that position and like setting off the play. But I just think when he goes further forward, there's no one really to connect the dots in midfield at the moment. You know, I know Ndombele does a lot of that work, but there's a bit of a lack of a quarterback, if you know what I'm saying. And when Kane drops into that position, and then he's got the runners on the outside like Son, Bergwijn, let's say, which I want to see more of that from Bergwijn. It's been working. That's the formula that's been working, hasn't it? That's it. Most of our goals have come that way. Yeah. Right, between Kane and Son. So if you take that out, then what do we have? What goals do we have?
That's the problem. It is a problem, but is that a personnel problem or a tactics problem?
Both, I think. You know, yeah. That's what I'm saying about the plan B. You know, at the moment, the plan A is Kane assisting to Son or Son assisting to Kane, isn't it?
Well, Reguilon assisted Kane.
Well, yeah, that's good as well. But the little sprinklings of Reguilon. But what else do we have apart from that? You know, if you take Kane and Son out, what is our plan A? Would you say?
Get the ball to Ndombele and get him to dribble past 3-4 players.
Give the ball to Ndombele.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a great show. 105 minutes long so far. It's all right. It's been decent. And John, it's been great having you on as always.
Yeah, thanks.
We've been through all the papers. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for all your tweets, everything you tagged on, all your super chats, all your comments. Yeah. Really appreciate all the interaction. All really helps support the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the stream. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm overlords.
Easy for you to say.
Algorithm. But it's still early. I know it's the morning after show. It's getting to the afternoon now, but it's still the morning for us, I think. That's it. But look, it wasn't a great day yesterday. Another disappointing draw. Another game we sit back and mull over what could have been yet again. Yeah. Hopefully we can finally learn our lesson. We seem to be making the same mistakes every time.
I don't blame mistakes. They're only mistakes if you don't learn from your mistakes.
And that's how many mistakes? 1, 2, 3, that's 5. That's 5 there.
And unfortunately, these mistakes keep happening. So then we need to really be addressing that. So on the training ground, they need to be working on that. You know.
Agreed. But I'm not as negative as a lot of the other fans are, just because for me personally, I can see what's wrong. I think the issues are not insurmountable. Yeah. I think we still are playing well in games, and I think even the games we have drawn and dropped points on, I can see where we should have won the game, where we definitely could have won the game, and I think it's a better situation having that than being outplayed and some stuff like that. So
I think it's a tweaking. It's not like a reinventing the wheel.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
So all right. So thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Join us on Sunday. We have the watch along for Sheffield United. We're going to be there. Ben will be back. John obviously is going to be more involved in the channel going forward as well. So we'll see you again. Thank you again for coming on, John.
Cheers, matey.
So join us for the watch on Sunday. We're going to have the player ratings and 5 takeaways out today as well. So stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.